Hey everybody, so this is the same look that I'm wearing in my last video, but it's the intro to my brow tutorial because I was filming that video when I did my brows. But yeah, I am going to be showing you how I get my eyebrows. This is like how I do it on a daily basis. I show you all of the products that I love to use, that I love to alternate with to give you some suggestions and some options. But honestly, filling in your brows is such a crucial step. In my opinion, it's one of those things that's like the most annoying and tedious, but once you get it, you're like, oh, like I can't live without it. It's like amazing. So I hope you enjoyed my tips and tricks. And yeah, if you want to see how I get my brows to look like this, I break down everything. Don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I post. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. All right guys, so I'm in the middle of filming my Valentine's Day makeup tutorial, so I thought today would be the perfect chance to get into my brows, all about my brows, how I do my brows. All right, so I have a couple favorite brow products. My favorite brow pencil of all time is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. It looks like this. I have it in so many colors. The one that I'm currently using right now is in the shade Deep Brown, and it's literally $2 at Walmart, CVS, wherever you go, e.l.f. And I love it because it is more of a waxy formula. I believe I mentioned in another video it's creamy, but I believe it's definitely more waxy now that I have a better understanding. I get confused with the terms in my head, but I love this because this is like my go-to everyday brow pencil. It's not something that I have to really work too hard with because it is waxy. It glides on, but it's really easy to glide off as well. So it's really easy to clean up, carve out, all that jazz. I do not carve out my brows really on a daily basis at all, or even with concealer, like when I'm doing full glam like this. I really just prefer to use a brush or my finger and just keep it looking natural, not super duper crisp. That's just personally my take. And I love that it is a little bit of a fatter crayon and it has a really nice durable spoolie. So I will be using that today, but I did want to show you guys a couple other brow products that I really like. I also love, obviously, the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the Anastasia Brow Definer. The Brow Definer obviously has that triangular tip, so if you're into that, I personally think this formula isn't as easy to work with as something like my e.l.f. So if you're a little bit more advanced, you probably would like this as well. I personally just prefer this because it is so easy to work with. With this and this, like the Anastasia formulas, they're definitely a little bit creamer. Oh my god, they're definitely a little bit creamier, so you have to really just be careful with carving it out. It's not as easy to wipe away, and it's definitely more pigmented right off the bat. It's hard to explain, but the color is definitely more precise because of the application and the formula. So in my opinion, it's not as easy to correct if needed. That being said, they're still really good formulas. And then one brow pencil I want to mention that's my favorite from the drugstore is actually not the NYX Micro Brow, even though that one is good. The LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. This one is in the shade Brunette. It's kind of like the Brow Wiz formula. It's a little bit, the Brow Wiz formula is a little bit better. It definitely goes on a little bit creamier than this, but this is like $5. You really can't beat it. If you're looking for a nice slim crayon, this is a great formula, but it's one of those ones where it doesn't blend out as evenly as something as this. Like, because it is that finer stroke, when you get a lot of color in one area, I don't know how to explain it. When you try to spoolie it out and buff it through, it doesn't buff out all the color all at once. Like, it's really hard to explain, and I'm definitely not explaining it right, but that's just where I stand with this. And then I also want to talk about brow gels, because even on days where I don't want to do pencil, brow gel is what I will do. And I have a few favorites that I want to mention. My favorite from the drugstore is probably the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. I have the shades Espresso and I have the shades Black. And this was like my first brow gel ever. I discovered it back in college and I truly love it. The spoolie is not too long, it's not too fat, and it's definitely more of a fibery formula, but it's also one of those ones where if you just want to do a one and done thing, it's not just fibers, so it can deposit color as well, and I really love it. It's a great thing for the price. And these two are probably my favorite high-end brow gels. I love the ColourPop Brow Bounce Gel as well. That one's definitely a very goopy formula. That's one that I will also reach for if I just want to put color through my brows, nothing else. The Mellow Tinted Brow Gel, this is in the shade Dark Brown. This is more of a wet formula above anything else. It's really not going to apply anything, in my opinion, besides color. Like, it's not gonna add fibers or anything, but if that's what you're going for, this is great. I do this on no makeup days where I just want to run something through my brows, don't want to fuck with anything else. This is what I'll reach for. The only thing with this is that you have to be careful because it is a very pigmented liquidy formula. I make sure that I'm just brushing my spoolie off before going in, otherwise it'll just get clumpy and it won't look good. Now, my favorite brow gel of all time is the Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel, and this is the shade Grind. It's currently the darker color. I love this because it's kind of like the best of both worlds, right? So it's a smaller spoolie, but it really allows you to get in there, and it adds color for sure. Like, it's also one that you're going to want to have to wipe off because it is pigmented, but it does have fibers, as it says, Kush Fiber Brow Gel. So it is one of those ones that's going to fill in the sparse gaps in addition to providing color. And I love this. It's my go-to every day. I'm going to apply it today with my e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift. So scooching closer, obviously your brows are sisters and not twins. I'm going to do this brow and then this brow. And I fill them in a little bit differently, like depending on, it's kind of weird. Like my left brow I fill in differently from my right brow, but you'll see. So I'm going to just start with this. Arch my head up a little bit this way so I can see my natural groove. Also, I do get my brows threaded like maybe once a month. I do kind of clean them up on my own. I try not to touch the shape. I let my threading lady do that, but I try to clean up my hairs down here just with a pair of tweezers. And the best tweezers, in my opinion, are the Revlon ones. These ones with like this Japanese flower design on it. I've had these for years and years and years, but in my opinion, there's no better tweezer. I love them. So back to filling in the brows, I am just going to start off with my left brow, draw a line like this. And I don't want it to look too fat and blocky. And then I'm just going to draw vertical hair-like strokes like this. And then look down because my brows are the ones where my hair like protrudes forward. It doesn't lay flat on my face. So I look down and then I just try to naturally follow my hairs. Really, for me, it's about enhancing my natural shape. And then I go this way because my hairs are very long. I look this way and then I just try to draw down. And something I will do is I will actually draw my hairs down longer here so it looks longer on this side. And this is especially crucial when you're doing looks with winged liner or with falsies because in my opinion, when I don't do this, I find that it looks disproportionate. Like my falsies are huge, my wings like out to here, but then my eyebrows shorter and it doesn't look right. So I try to make sure that I extend my brow and then I just kind of go over it a second time. I look down to make sure that I have all the hairs accounted for. And then I'll wait to buff that in. I'll move on to the other brow before I go in and buff it out. So this brow, I actually do it differently. I don't know why. I just take this. And I like to do my whole underline down here first before I fill in any of the top, which is obviously different from what I did on this brow. And I don't know why, it's just my knack. Then I'll go in and do those vertical strokes in the front and then start carving my brow. Like this. And then obviously I went a little bit too far up here, but we're gonna kind of use a brush later and go through that. All right, and now I'm going to buff through everything. It's important that you go through and brush through your hairs so it looks natural and diffused and the color doesn't look harsh. So that's what I'm doing with this spoolie. And I love this because you get that spoolie and it's a very durable spoolie. Like it's obviously a fatter spoolie than something like this, like the LA Girl one. You can see the difference. So I personally love a thicker spoolie because it just gets the job done faster. And then that's good for this brow. And I'm just going to buff it through for this brow as well. Always remember, your brows are sisters and not twins. Then I'll go back in and add a little bit more color as I see fit. Especially for glam looks, I want to make sure that my brow is prominent because otherwise it just looks lost. All right, and that's pretty much all the color I do. I really don't go on with powder you can, and if you were to go in with a powder to fill in your brows, I think any shadow will do, but one that's really affordable that I like is the Essence Make Me Brow Duo Eyebrow Powder right here. And if I really want to be extra, I'll just take it and go in and fill in the sparse hairs. But on a daily basis, and even with glam looks, I find that a brow pencil and then adding that color gel on top really just works for me. Now, I'm pretty pleased with how this looks right now. I'm actually going to take just a blank brush just like this. Sometimes I lick it right here, and I just want to carve this part out where I went too high. I have very arched brows, so it's important for me to kind of define the arch, even though it's going to be different, obviously, for both eyebrows. So this is what it looks like without any brow gel, and I like the structure, I like the shape. As I've mentioned, my brows are, I guess I would say I'm lucky that I have brows that are pretty much there. I just enhance it and fill in the sparse gaps and give it more shape and definition. But really, that's all I do, and it really doesn't take much time at all. Once you get good at it, it's fast. And then I'm going to go in with my Milk Makeup Brow Gel just directly on top like this. Wipe off the excess. Just brush it through. You can see it's adding that fiber, it's adding the dimension. Compared to this brow, it's obviously darker, a little bit more filled in and put together. And if you do get to a spot where you're like, oh, it's too clumpy in an area, I would wait a little bit for it to dry before going in and brushing the product through further. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for my brow routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Find what suits you, find your routine, and honestly, I can do my daily brows in probably 2 to 3 minutes. You get really, really fast at it the more you do. Just like anything, practice makes perfect. So my brows are by no means perfect, but I'm pretty happy with the routine, so I thought I would share with you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it taught you something. Leave me your tips and tricks for your brows in the comments below, and any products you might like, any techniques, I would love to know and have them shared with everybody. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit fast, but yeah, I just want to let you know how I do my brows, and if you're Asian or have similar brows that to me, then I hope this helped you, or anybody who's looking for a start on how to even attempt to do your brows. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye. Take it easy, take it slow.